Hi everyone. So I was going through just checking my stuff on Facebook, and I come to a article from Movie Pilot. Now, Movie Pilot I don't go to for my regular movie news. I stick with Collider and a few other sites along those lines. But I'll go to Movie Pilot to add links into descriptions of videos for when the information I'm going for is actually confirmed. So I'm going on this site and looking at the article, and it shows a picture from one of the newest Star Wars comics. Now, when everything was retconned, everything that comes out now for Star Wars is considered canon with the universe, official history as it is. And it showed a scene from one of the newest issues of, I don't know what, but it's newest issue of some kind, where Han, Leia, and Chewy and R2 go to save Luke from a Hutt collector who collects Jedi relics, and he caught Luke. Well, to do this, they go into collection, had no extra weapons on hand, so what they do is they take lightsabers from the collection and go into battle with it. So you see this panel, or this picture of Leia, Han, and Chewie all holding lightsabers, Chewie double-wielding a lightsaber, and they go, and Princess Leia's just like, I always want to use one of these things, okay, let's go. And then Han's just like, I could really go for a good blaster right now, because Khan's clearly uncomfortable. And Chewie just goes out and dual wields him, and it's all awesome. But it raised an interesting, not theory, but question. Either in The Force Awakens, which I don't think of The Force Awakens, but at some point in this new trilogy, assuming all the characters that I just spoke about survive at least until Episode 8, could any of them be wielding lightsabers in any way, shape, or form? Now, in Episode 7, I don't have a ruler. I got this from my last day at work. So, so in Episode 7, I don't believe we're going to see any of those characters, Chewie, Han, or Leia, wield a lightsaber. I think the most we'll get is Leia's being handed a lightsaber by apparently Maz Kanata. She'll look it over. Maybe she'll ignite it real quick. Just look at it for a second, and then hand it back. I think that's the most you're going to get. But let's, for the sake of sakes, think about Episode 8. Assuming all these characters lived through Episode 8. And again, it's looking like someone's dying in Episode 7, at least one person. Who and why would they be wielding a lightsaber? Now, Han. Let's start with Han. Han, I can safely say, is probably never going to be wielding a lightsaber. One, because it's just not his character. And two, to be wielding lightsabers, you'd have to have extra lightsabers. Now, I don't know what they did with those lightsabers. Maybe they get destroyed at the end of that comic. I don't know what happens with those. But there'd have to be extra lightsabers on hand. And I don't see that happening, at least definitely not in The Force Awakens. And almost certainly not in Episode 8, at least half for the starting half. Excuse me. If we see more lightsabers show up, it probably won't be until the second act or second half of the Episode 8, and then we're going into Episode 9. But let's say that extra lightsabers show up, for the sake of sakes. Han, I don't think will do it, because Han, even in that scene where he's wielding one, says he'd rather be having a blaster at his side. We see him with his trademark blaster and all the marketing. A lightsaber just doesn't suit Han. It doesn't. And Han doesn't want to be wielding a lightsaber, really, if he can help it. It's just not kind of who he is. So, I don't think we're seeing Han. Chewie. Now, Chewie is an interesting case. Chewie, as far as I know, Han's a little Force sensitive, too. Leia's Force sensitive as well, being a Skywalker. Han's actually got Force sensitivity. That's why he was able to navigate the asteroid field. But Chewie is an interesting case. He's not Force sensitive as far as I know, unless Wookiees actually, apparently, from what I understand, don't have a very strong connection to the Force, according to lore. Of course, this is also EDU, extended lore, so maybe I'm wrong, maybe they've changed that, but if we go by that notion that most Wookiees don't have a strong connection to the Force, there are some Wookiee Jedi. There has been a Wookiee or two Jedi. One or two Wookiee Jedis, but Chewie doesn't fall into that roster. But Wookiees are a warrior race, a very strong warrior race. They have an honor code. They're very physically capable, hand-to-hand combat style. But we see Chewie using his bowcaster most of the time. So right now, and has some sort of detonator for some sort of bomb. So I don't think, at least not in Episode 7, will I see him use a lightsaber at all. If he uses a lightsaber, I think it's going to be just out of desperation, it'll be near him, and he'll pick him up, and maybe we'll get the dual-wielding Chewbacca lightsaber where we're all just going to be like, oh my god! Like, yeah, let's be clear. If I see Chewbacca using a lightsaber, I may call some things into question. But I'll do that in laughing my ass off in sheer delight. So that leaves Leia in this little equation. Leia, now, in the expanded lore, Legends as it's called, she used the lightsaber. She was, in fact, she trained as a Jedi after that. But it has been retconned now. Now, clearly she's used the lightsaber before now in this new cinematic universe. This is a new canon. We've now established this based on the shot, based on what I just found out. She hasn't, at least once in her time, used the lightsaber. The question comes, could we see her use a lightsaber in the future? Now, in Episode 7, again, short of maybe that one scene where we might get her looking at it and be like, maybe ignite it once and then turn it off, I don't think Episode 7 will see her use a lightsaber. If we do see her use a lightsaber, which the little bit of backing we might is that she said she was kind of getting back into shape for the role of Leia, as was Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill, I'm certain we'll see ignite a lightsaber again. But I don't know if we'll see Carrie Fisher, because she seems more like the kind of person to... They've described her, too. She's very tired. She's very wary. She's very just aged at this point and tired, and she's a general. But that doesn't mean we might not still see her on the front line. It's very hard to tell whether or not we might get her in actual, like, combat, let alone lightsaber combat. It all depends on, the question is really going to come down to how The Force Awakens plays out. If there's going to be any inclination if we see her ignite a lightsaber or not, it will be in The Force Awakens, and then later down the road, assuming she survives. Which I'm assuming at least 2 of our characters here, Han, Leia, and Chewie, will survive into Episode 8. Luke, I'm dead certain surviving to Episode 8. And more than likely to Episode 9. But it still begs the question, will we see her? If I am to just go by what I think right now, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no, we're not going to see her wield a lightsaber. And I say that because her character at the moment seems to be fitting more as the command center general kind of role. But who knows? I think it'd be cool. Watching Carrie Fisher fight in that form might be a little odd. Also, that begs the question of Luke fighting a lightsaber. Now, Mark Hamill, I believe, is like only in his late 50s, early 60s, so he's actually got some... Well, he's older. He's not as old, say, like Harrison Ford, who's in his 70s. But it does limit him in how he can function in a lightsaber duel. But, that being said, it does not mean that, but with today's technology, it does not mean we couldn't see him. A combination of maybe either a stunt double or CGI, and this is where CGI could definitely actually play an advantage. Where we could see Luke, especially with CGI nowadays, it could definitely, and all the money we're apparently seeing being put into... Watch, it turns out they only worked to like a 200... I'd be amazed if the budget with this was less than $200 million. My God, I'd be amazed. And proud it was only under $200 million. This is one of the few movies of this year where I could say, yeah, I can understand why this movie was this expensive. Especially with all the marketing. Oh my God, the marketing is probably going to be... Oh, man, thinking about the marketing. Let's just say this movie's... I know I'm sidetracking at the moment. Let's just say this movie's $250 million. Let's just say that. The marketing's probably at least another $100 million. They've had 3 different trailers. They have now a bunch of TV spots. And they got a featurette or 2 out. The marketing on this movie's got to be at least $100 million. So that's $350 million right there. Now, don't get me wrong. This movie is going to make bank. This movie is going to clear the billion mark with ease. This movie is probably going to go down in history as having one of the highest opening weekends in box office history. The highest opening weekend in December, no doubt. And maybe one of the highest grossing films of all time. This movie is going to just blow records out of the water. But, let's be clear here. Just blowing records out of water. Avengers Age of Ultron made $0.4 something billion this year. And Marvel and Disney considered it a failure. Why? I don't know. Because that's crazy. Then again, when you think about it, a third of any movie's profits goes to the theater because the theater makes a lot of profit. They make most of their money off of concessions, but they still make a profit off the movie. So if you were to do the math on that real quick, that means It probably made about $900 million. And then I believe the budget on Age of Ultron was about $250, maybe $220. 1 second. Box Office Mojo. 1 second there. I'm actually not curious on that. So Avengers Age of Ultron, $250. Probably about another $150 in marketing. Basically the same scenario as Star Wars right now. So that means that when all is said and done, the movie made maybe about, oh no, $650 million. Oh dear. Now, to be fair, the first Avengers, Marvel's Avengers, was made only on $220 million and made about $100 million. Actually, was it about $100 million more, or was it a little less? And made about... Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, no, it made about $100 million more. So it made $100 million more, made on less money. Oh no, they didn't make quite as much money as they thought they would. They still made over $1 billion. Ooh. They're still probably one, except for Universal, they're probably the highest grossing business highest building grossed theater? No, movie studio. That was the word I was looking for. Studio of this year. Except for Universal, which had 3 different billion-dollar films in Minions, Fast 7, and Jurassic World. So, yeah, Universal won this. It's kind of won this year. Unless Star Wars makes $200 billion, $2 billion somehow. Not out of the realm of possibility, but just saying. If it somehow makes $2 billion, yeah, Universal's kind of won this year in terms of the box office. Regardless, though, it's still an interesting topic to understand how much money Star Wars might make. I actually think it may, given everything I've been seeing from this. The pre-sales ticket, which I got my ticket second day out, and I went in person to get mine. I didn't bother going on freaking online because of the freaking sites going down. That was just stupid for me to do after learning that. So I got my ticket. But with the records being broken, I think it's actually said that it's made already $15 million in pre-sales alone. Holy crap, man! Holy crap! So I had no doubt this movie will be something amazing. Not just in terms of a film, even though I think the film is going to be great. I think it's going to be one of those movies that just wrecks everything else. I feel so bad for anything coming out the week before, the week during, and the week after. Week during for obvious reasons, but the week before because whereas the week before they might have a strong opening weekend, which I believe that's it. Into the Heart of the Sea comes out. Oh, that poor movie. See, Into the Heart of the Sea is coming out the week before, and that looks like a real good movie. Ron Howard looks like the movie looks like it's going to be really good, and it's gonna take care of the box office that weekend. I have no doubt. And Krampus will be out during that. Krampus I think will be fine. It comes out 2 weeks before the movie. But leading up until that day, you'll have people going to the theater and stuff like that. But that Thursday and that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, say goodbye to what little box office you were getting, baby. Star Wars is going to be the main focus. And then it's going to be so packed that then people will go see everything else. But still, that being said, and then any movie coming out after that, it's still got to contend with Star Wars being in the theaters. It's a kind of silly. That's why Warcraft moved off its date, because really, they knew first off they'd be bidding for a somewhat similar audience, but Star Wars would win the weekend, would win the box office, generally speaking. No, it's made sense to move Warcraft off there. Revenant, Hateful Eight, I feel bad for those movies because those all look great and they're going to kind of get a little killed at the box office. Great, they're still going to make money. They are still going to do well. Star Wars, the longer Star Wars stays in theaters, the less hurt other movies are going to feel. But for that opening week, that following week, and not even pre-week, it's going to be bad for those other movies. So, yeah, maybe I'll actually do another video at one point on how much money this Force Awakens will make, or how much I think they'll make. But until then, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you have a movie you would like us to maybe talk about, TV series, or something along those lines, something media-related, or game-related, anything along those lines, put that in the comments below. Just let us get in contact with us. We'll do a review of that at some point. So this week will be Victor Frankenstein and Creed. Now, also have any movie news. This week's Who Would Win will be Darth Sidious versus Doctor Doom, by the way, so keep an eye out for that. And, of course, Supergirl and Muppet Vlogs will be up when they're up. And any other movie news I have to talk about, as well as trailer reactions. So, it's business as usual. I got a lot more free time now that I'm currently out of work, but I hope for that. I'm planning for that not to be too long. Me being unemployed, I'm still looking for work and all that. Just gotta take a sabbatical right now. It's just kind of how it is. But I'll be back on my feet in no time. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.